Welcome back, everybody, to episode what I believe is 29 of Maleficent's Fortress build. And here is a big, higher quality picture of Maleficent's Fortress from the 1959 animated film. So right there, you see, that's the gatehouse. And we worked on that in the last episode. But here is the zigzag. The mountain goes in a zigzag, the hill. So I always thought it was a spiral, like Snake Mountain or something from He-Man. So that appears to be another mountain, but we're not going to worry about that. It's just something in the foreground. So what it is, you have a straight path. Yeah, I put a question mark there. What is that? It's a mountain in the foreground. Hindsight, right? So you have a straight path, a curve to the left, straight path, curve to the left, and then a long straight path. And it's very, very simple in concept. And I racked my brain around it for a long time. And and there's a lot of pictures, renditions of Gothic castles that have a depiction of this winding road going up. So what I'm writing there is to King Stephan's castle. So that's the way to get to King Stephan's castle. If you watch the movie, that's where Prince Philip raced down, and he got to right before he got to the castle, Maleficent made a bunch of thorns come out. Now, I did a build with, I just put the thorn bushes all over the place. Oh my goodness. And I have the memory hack, right? So I have it where I can double the size of the toy box. And I maxed it out. I almost maxed it out, and I was getting some difficulties. All right, so here we go. There's 3 straight paths. 1, 2, 3. And then there's 2 turns. Okay? So I just wanted to make this as easy as possible. I didn't think it would be 3 minutes long. But I wanted to get myself to know this. So 2, turn, and what am I writing now? 2 right. So the right hand turns when you're going up, and if you're coming down, they would be left hand turns. Okay, and then 3 straight. And then all those pointy things around there are mountains in the fog. And I might have to, you'll see, I just used the mountain templates. It might be something we have to come back to somewhere along the line, because I'm not that happy with it. Alright, so here we are with Nova. And this is the second time I had to do this, because there was a glitch, an ugly glitch, and it had nothing to do with how big the toy box was. Nothing. It's something that happens. Actually, I'm gonna have to show you it. So right here, I was trying to fill this gap in, and so you see right here, I put the trigger area. All right, so I'm going to put a small block in there to cover this hole. All right, now watch the trigger area. Where'd it go? Now I find it later, and it shows up. So I put another one down, and what? It disappears again. And now look what happened. I was using the spark. Apparently you can use the wand if you encounter that glitch where you are this glitch. Apparently you can still use the wand. Alright, so I moved that, but now you're gonna see one See, they're both there, right? So something, and I don't know if it's just Star-Lord, but it's definitely happens during this glitch. And this first time, it's not the first time I've encountered this glitch, but it's the first time I figured out what's going on. It's only the second time that I've seen it. And first time wasn't that big of a deal because it was just I don't know, it's a throwaway, really. I mean, I still have it on my hard drive. But here I am just playing around. I don't think it's that big of a deal, right? Well, until later, when I come in again, and look at that. It's clearly there, but there's no menu. So I figured, all right, if this is the only thing I have to deal with, just one, I'll just move it out of the way using the diamonds, and I'll just pull it down. Not that big of a deal. Until that. Now, I didn't notice it, but did you see that when I highlighted that block? That entire block is messed up. So right here, when I was trying to move this block, this is where I figured it out. So I'm just going to move this to line everything up, and what? No options? So that's all that, you know. So now, all in all, I just lined everything else up with that block, and there was really no problems in the long run. But still, if I wanted to change the ground floor to brick or a gray texture like Frankenweenie, so here, I thought maybe if I save it, it'll fix everything, right? Like a bad dream, it didn't never happen, right? So you can't theme it, so I figured, what if I theme all, right? And yeah, so I'm like, if I theme all, will it re-register? No, it doesn't. Yeah, so yeah, that's why I saved it. Really, I saved it so in case, it didn't work. It didn't work. It doesn't work. So I finished the toy box and then I went back. So yeah. Not happy. So we need to get the ramp, as you're going to see here. We need to get the ramp to coincide with this cliff piece. So we're just using replayers. And it does get a little tricky. And now I did do this once before, but I also had like 5 false starts because it was just taking me too long to get to where I needed to get. So I just scrapped it and started over again. That's not that frustrating if you've never completed it before, but since I'd already made it once, that was kind of annoying. So you want to take 2 ramps to make sure they are the narrow terrain ramp, so they're the long ones, all right? So you're going to go down 4, and they're going to be doubled, all right? So each one's going to get 4 until you get to the last one, which is going to be just super long. And all that's going to do is match where the base is. I didn't count them. But I figured it'd just be just as easy to find where the base is, and then that would be where the bottom is. So I did all the trial and errors for you, so all you got to do is just keep going down. Now make sure you just go left, down, because it's very, I don't know why, but maybe it's because a lot of us watched He-Man growing up, and Snake Mountain was a spiral, even though I don't think we ever seen anybody walk up it. So I always wanted to go to the right and just keep going, in like an S pattern. And would that be an S pattern? No, this is an S pattern. No, I wanted to go in an S pattern, but you go in a Z, wait, Z is an S pattern. Lightning bolt? I don't know what you can... I guess you would consider this a lightning bolt, right? So this is going to be the long one. And right there, this is not actually where the base is. I thought it was. I was mistaken. The only reason I didn't start over is because when I realized this base right here was not the base, I was too far into it with very minimal mistakes. Alright, so we want a corner. So what I'm doing is I'm just using where the square pieces are. So we're going to get an angle piece in there. So I'm just using this, and then I'll go back and put the angle in there. Yeah, see where the bottom of those cliff pieces are? That's the bottom. So we want terrain blocks to go underneath all of it. And in some cases, it's going to merge through our mountain. See, this is where I was talking about the angle, which it works out fine. It doesn't look that well. If you look at the picture, it looks kind of blocky sometimes, depending on what the variation of artwork that they showed you in the movie. It was not consistent, but it's 1959, I guess. I don't know. And I mean, everything today we can draw by digital, right? So here I'm saving it, and it's a good thing too, because in about 4 minutes something annoying is going to happen. So it's a good thing we saved the ramp thus far. Yeah, I was having a lot of difficulties, partially because certain programs were trying to run scans and just causing it to crash. Alright. I just like it when you stand still. At least I'm talking over, right? Causes for more entertainment. So I think I'm contemplating whether or not I should delete that. Nope. I'm contemplating. I don't know what I was thinking. But I was deciding on what to do next. It must have been. But anyway, going to go with these canyon walls. And keep in mind where you put those. You put those right underneath the edge of the ramp block. And we're going to weave these things in like putting shingles on a roof. Or making some kind of arts and crafts thing. Braid. We're going to braid them in. We're going to weave these in. Yeah, and I got to back out because I put that in the wrong spot. But see how they're going down. They're going down. So we're going to compensate for all of that by making them super long and then using a barrier block to shove the bottom into it. But you don't do that until the last, because when you weave these pieces in, you have to be very careful that you don't get too far ahead of yourself and then mess up and then have to rip the entire thing apart again on one side, which I've done too many times. And you're going to do this on both sides, but it's where the corners are that where things get a little tricky, if you want to say tricky. Yeah, so in a couple minutes we're going to redo this because the game's going to crash. Just letting you know, you're going to hear my game crash joke. It's not a joke, but try to make light of it. You're going to see, Crash Bandicoot in a wrecked car. I might cut it out. Nobody's ever complained about it, so I might leave it in. Alright, there's a joke. So, really is not a joke, but that stuff does happen. So now, remember we saved the ramp. So now all we got to do is set our theme back to buried treasure and then put those pieces back in. So right now, so for watching, I don't know, 3 minutes of that already, you should be skilled professionals at putting these pieces down. We're just doing the same thing over again. Now this is the easy part. Now see that gap? Well, we'll deal with that later. We're going to use replayers for the whole thing. Another thing with the replayers, make sure when you use the replayers, you pay attention to how many you don't overlap you don't put the same block on the same block. And I mean, it's easier said than done, but after doing it 1,000 times and then you try to hurry it up because you messed up 50 times, you start to get sloppy in your work. And one of the builds I did, I noticed the whole thing was Z fighting. I'm like, what the heck's going on? Well, apparently I went over it with a recorder twice, so I had everything at doubles. Why? Which piece? So you can't just like go and delete everything because I didn't double everything. It was only certain parts. But anyway, I ended up starting that one over again because it's taking too long to fix it, to make a coherent video. Because I decided it's easier, I think, to dub over it than it is to build while I'm talking. I don't know. Let me know what's better. But this is easier for me. So if I'm going to mess up, and if it's going to take me like 5 hours, then versus 2 hours, I'm going to go for the 2 hours of talking rather than 5 hours of forgetting where I messed up. Now keep this in mind. Every time you go down when you're doing these corners, it's two of these narrow pieces. It's 2 extra long. So right there we're putting 2 down, right? I'm going to line that up. So when I put that down again, it's going to be 2 narrow pieces plus 2 more narrow pieces, which would equal one of those, which is 3, right? Plus a narrow piece. So 3 and 1 is what? 4. So it's all math. There's no real shortcuts away from math. Math is going to be everywhere. Math, just learn to deal with it. All right, so now we put that one down. See, I'm counting in my head. So if that's going to be 3, 4, 5, then I have to have 5, 6, 7. So 3 and 3 would be 6, so I use the next piece up and then one more piece. Or not. I thought it should have been one more. See? Well, somehow there's a rhyme or reason to it. If it doesn't fit, fix it. Yep, if it doesn't fit, fix it. Alright, about time for an autosave, don't you think, dude? After all the crashes you had last night? And all the crashes happened really before this final build. There might be some more in here, but not as much as happened in the first few go-arounds. And then again, I had malware bites saying, "Oh, your free trial is up. Buy it." And I said, nope. Because you know what happens after your free trial is up? You get the free version. So, with no nag screens. You'd think if you want me to buy something, don't nag me. So this is the, I had an optional way of doing this with different mountain pieces, and after getting done with this, there's no way I was going to try something different. This is like, I mean, hopefully you've seen it, the short that I did. I mean, just the thumbnail, at least on my side, I don't know if all the thumbnails look the same. At least on my side, the thumbnail looked like a movie still. After you turn it to Syndrome's Sinister Take Home. Take Home. What do you want? I want takeout. Syndrome's Takeout chicken. Speaking of chicken. Well, anyway, changing the sky, it really makes a difference. But anyway, speaking of chicken, I wanted some chicken the other day, and I refrained from not chicken, because chicken is good if it's done right? But McDonald's chicken, they put all the sauce on it. It's not good for you. The bread on it's not good for you. But I wanted chicken, and you know, the stuff that comes in the salad at Walmart it's nasty. Sometimes it's okay, but sometimes it tastes like turkey, and I don't like turkey. I know it's a bird, so right here we're going to have to use the path creator. And being the color that these are, for me, it's hard to distinguish because it's such a blend of browns and blacks and almost purples. So the chicken was gross. So I'm eating it in the dark on the way home in the car, and it was hard as a rock. Not hard as a rock, it was like eating rubber. I'm like, I felt like maybe I should turn the light on to see what I'm eating, but I was so hungry, I was like, I'm not even gonna see what I'm eating. Like, I don't want to get sick. So I ate the whole thing. You know, if they didn't put sauce on those things, nobody would eat their stuff. Anyway, I'm not a big McDonald's fan. So the next time, maybe it was a week later, I went to Popeyes. You want chicken, you go to Popeyes. So they got their spicy chicken. So is this where I figure out that... Nope. Must be later where I figure out that I didn't go low enough for the bottom. Yeah, much later. Maybe in the next episode or two. Yeah, I'm not going to get this done in one shot. Yeah, so I want to get these 30 minutes each, so we got 10 minutes left. There's no way I'm going to get down. I mean, we didn't even use one replayer yet. Except for that piece up at the top. Here's the actual... Here's where we start using the replayers to weave in these corners. Valleys, that's what we called them in construction, the valleys. I never liked that. I never liked getting those valleys. And now, wasn't that bad? Well, yeah, you know, shingles, I don't like dealing with shingles. What was the other thing? When we did the valleys with siding, when you have a roof that, you know, has to weave together with, you know, different roofs, you know, pieces coming together like this. And there's a name for them. You would think they're called saddles. They're not saddles. I forget. But anyway, when it come to siding, when it come to roofing, I didn't like it because it just confused me. But here, it's easy because I just know it goes straight through. It just goes straight through. You just got to make sure that you record one. You don't need to record both. You record one, clear it, and then put the second one in. You just pay attention to what you're doing a little bit at a time. You don't get too far ahead of yourself, otherwise you're going to end up overlapping too many things, and you're going to forget what's what, and you're going to have like 3 pieces stuck inside each other. But yeah, if you're looking for something easy, this is not. I wouldn't call this easy because there's no inner corner piece for these. Wish there was. Or what would be nice is if you could build 2 of those, like that, like you see right in front of you, and with the edge, and just save that as a custom piece and move it around wherever you want and duplicate it. I think they have a mod in Terraria that allows you to do that, where you can create something, save it, and then move it around and duplicate it. Actually, I know they do because I've seen somebody using it. Now, is it in the current state of Terraria? I don't know if the devs adopted that, but it was in an older one. All I know is when I found it, I couldn't use it because I was using 4, and that mod was from 3. But anyway, I gave up on Terraria after a while. It just was getting too... Number one, it was too consumed. I built some cool stuff in it. I did. Stuff that I didn't see anybody else do. I was building city buildings. Anyway, it's not something I'm going to get back into. I don't like the idea where you have to fight demons in order to unlock toys or building pieces. No, that's not my style. Especially the demons that they put in there. Even though they're like goofy, no. They're creepy. Now here, I think that's because that piece that's sticking out needed to go down, but I'm not sure if I'm going to leave that there or not. I think that's what I'm doing. Is I'm like, how is that piece? How do we get to where we are? These 2 pieces should be down, right? But I went up because of how the other ones go. So you get to that. Sometimes it just happens. When you do it, it might not work that way. It might not work out that way when you do it. So right here, I'm bringing it down. So that would mean I can just double up and use an extra piece. Come on, dude. Alright. Now you're going to have little holes. We're going to fill all those little holes in. Is that going to take up space? Yes. Yes, it is. But when you stick to the same piece, you're not going to take up that much space. Now the thing that we have against us is this thing is huge. So the distance from the back of the castle to the front is going to cause your toy box to increase in size more than it would if all the same pieces were clustered together. So that's one of the things that people don't take into account, is the length or the actual dimensions of your toy box adds to increased memory. So whether it be, I don't know if horizontal's more than vertical or if it's the same. But you can put the same amount of toys, pieces, in a clustered area and not use the same amount and use less than it would if you spread them out through the whole length of however long the toy box is. Imagine if they allowed you to use the entire thing. I think what might have happened, well, they had too many, I think maybe they had too many hands in the pot. And they were on time constraint too, so that's why we had a lot of glitches and whatnot, and it was, I don't know. And now right here, when you do this, I advise you, don't use the 1x3s. Use the 3x1s. All right, when you get it, see how I'm going down? It's because the gaps, there's still some light poking through. So I'm not going to correct that for, I don't know, maybe 2 more episodes, 3 more episodes. So keep that in mind if you're following along. Don't use those because I'm going to change them all anyway. Because you're going to save more space using 3x1, or wait, 3x3 3 by 1. I get this confused. Dimensions. You know, the block wall, the 3, let's see. It's a 3 by 3, 1 deep. As opposed to the 1 by 3 by 1. I feel like I'm given that line from Clue.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only one shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
How many bullets were in there? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. I love that. I hope they don't. If they ever redo that movie, I hope they don't mess it up. Yeah, so don't use these thin ones. Use the walls. Because you're going to have light poking through with these. Unless you double them, but you don't want to double them. Okay, I think you know what I'm talking about. You've listened to me for so long, I could probably say, blue, and you'd be like, I know, Brown Bat, I get it. It's what happens when you listen to somebody for so long. They like talk gibberish and then you know what they're talking about. Alright, so I see we're coming up to the end of the time here, so I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to crash, we're going to end. But anyway, this is where I'm going to call it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends. Yeah, we're saving it. Yeah. Alright, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to give me a like before you click out. And also, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do it now! And click the bell icon if you want to know what I'm up to before I even know what I'm up to, because it helps you see into the future. And I just made that up. Until next time, this is That Brown Bat reminding you to keep on building.
We'll just see what happens next time, won't we?